The objective of this video is to learn about the metric system and the prefixes that is used in the metric system and to perform some simple metric system conversions. So what is metric system? This is one simple system that is usually used in scientific purposes, and it is actually quite easy to use, and you are using these metric system units pretty much in your everyday life, like in medicine. If you have read the labels, you might have noticed this mg, which means milligrams. The volumes marked in cups or bottles, you might have seen these labels: liters, distance, and gigabytes, gigahertz. These are technology related terms, and you are very familiar with these everyday used different metric units. Now we are going to use this metric system unit in many scientific purposes, and that is why you are required to learn about metric system and converting things within the metric system. And this is actually the system, the measuring system that is used worldwide, and even elementary students can easily use metric system because it is so easy, and it actually has these measurements based on the power of 10. So it is very easy to use, and there's hardly any memorizing because everything goes into the power of 10. Now in the metric system, we have something called base unit. These base unit are assigned for each type of measurements we want to take. For example, for length, if we want to measure length, the base unit we have is meters. The symbol is simple m. For mass, we have the base unit grams. For volume, we have the base unit liters. For time, we have the base unit seconds. So these four sets of base units are the most frequently used base units in your purposes, but if you really think about other types of base units like frequency or bits, they can also be considered as base unit. Now these base units can be combined with any of the prefixes that is used in the metric system. So all these prefixes you see here, giga, mega, kilo, hecto, deci, centi, they are all prefixes. So what are these? They are prefixes. So you can combine any of these base unit with any of the prefixes. If you want to talk about kilometers, you combine meters and kilo. So if you put km, that is kilometers. You can talk about millimeters. So this m means this milli. So the prefix, it says it's prefix, so it comes first. So prefix is put first and then comes the base unit. You can talk about grams like kilograms or milligrams, micrograms. So you can combine any of these base units with any of these prefixes. For example, let's say hertz. If you have hertz, you can talk about gigahertz. Seconds, you can have milliseconds. Now when you see this m, don't get it confused with meter. Remember the prefix, it comes first. So if you see this, think whether it is going to be a prefix or if it is going to be the base unit. So you need to have a very clear understanding about these units, and you have to memorize these names and symbols. One easy method some people use is having this nematic: King Henry died drinking chocolate milk. So this set is most frequently used set of prefixes in chemistry. Okay. Now let's see how we are going to do certain simple conversions within metric system. Now if you had noticed, you can see all these numbers. There's nothing to memorize. If you develop a scale like this, you can see patterns. You can label it from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as long as you want. And the first three prefixes, they go in 1, 2, 3 gaps, and after that it's 6, 9, 12, 15, and it can go on. And then next, on the other side, you can see the same trend without this negative sign. 1, 2, 3, after that it goes 6, 9, 12, 15. So it's kind of easy to remember. Alright, now let's see how to do the conversion. What I have here, 1 meter. So when you see this symbol standing alone, you know that we are talking about this base unit. If you see another symbol in front of it, then you know we have a prefix. But this one is without a prefix, just the base unit 1 meter, and we have to convert it into millimeter. Now this M is not defining that term. This first term is talking about the prefix milli. Now go into the scale. Your base unit is here. This is where your meter is, and you have to convert it into milli. See where you have your milli is over here, and see how many times you have to go. 1, 2, 3 times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 over here, this 1 meter, and when you see a number like this, where is your decimal point? Now in numbers like this, we usually don't show the decimal point, but you know where it is. So your decimal point is actually here. Now I'm going back to the scale. I'm moving from base unit 1, 2, 3 times, and I'm going to move this decimal point in this direction 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Now this is going to be the new position of my decimal point. Into each loop, I'm filling zeros. Now what is my 1 meter converted into millimeters? It's 1000, because this is where my new decimal point is now. So 1 meter is equal to 1000 millimeters. Let's see another example. Now what we have is 1 liter, and I have to convert 1 liter into microliters. Check where you have microliters. You have micro here and your liter, the base unit. How many times do you have to move? I'm going to write 1 here, and this is the location of my decimal, and see how many times we have to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to move my decimal point 6 times in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be the new location of my decimal. And now I'm going to fill zeros into each loop. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. Now that is 1 liter in microliters. Let's do another problem. Now what I have is 1 milliliter. I have to convert it into kiloliters. Now milli, still we are looking at the milliliters. Now we have to locate milliliters. The base unit is here, and you can see where your milli is. This is where you are starting with now, because what we are starting with is milli, and you have to go to kilo and find where your kilo is. It's over here. Now see how many times you have to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you are moving in this direction. So what I'm going to do is, now my decimal point is over here. I'm moving my decimal point 6 times in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now fill zeros into each loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 zeros. Now this is the new position of my decimal point. So my answer is, how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. have the decimal here. This is the number 1 milliliter converted into kiloliters. Right. Another example. Now we are doing milligrams. M is the prefix milli. We are converting it into kilograms. Find where your milli is. It's over here. Number is 2.3 and we have to convert it into kilo, and kilo is over here. Let's make the move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're moving the decimal point 6 times in that side. So we can start moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the new location of your decimal point, and add zeros into each loop. That is your answer in kilograms. Another example. We have 5.2 and look what unit we have. Is it just the base unit with standing alone, or is it with the prefix? It's a base unit standing alone, the seconds. And you have to convert it into nanoseconds. So from here, find the position of nano and make the move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have to move the decimal point 9 times in that direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Put zeros into each loop. That will give you the answer. So how many zeros you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to write a number here. So 5.2 seconds converted into nanoseconds is this number. Right. Another example. You have 0.05 kilograms. And we have to convert this into micrograms. So you're starting from here and you have to go to micrograms. Think how many times you're moving it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're moving it 9 times. So move this 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Put zeros into each loop. This is the new position of the decimal point. Now how many zeros you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So write the number here. That is 0.05 kilograms converted into micrograms. One more example. We have 1.5 gigahertz. What we have is giga. Find where you have giga and you have to convert it into mega. How many times do you have to move? 1, 2, 3. 3 times in this direction. So move the decimal point in this direction 3 times. 1, 2, 3. The new decimal point. Put zeros into the loops and you get 1.5 gigahertz converted into megahertz, which is 1500. And that is it. Very clear and easy, and it is really easy to use this metric system.